My name is Jennifer. I'm 35 years old, and I live in Texas, USA. My husband, David, and I have been married for 11 years. We have 2 children, a boy and a girl. David runs a successful construction company. I work part-time at our children's school. Our life seemed perfect and busy. We went to soccer games and school plays. David worked long hours, but I understood. His secretary, Ashley, often called him late at night. I thought she was just very dedicated to her work. I never suspected anything was wrong between them. The first sign was small. David started working even later. He said he had a big new project. He also started going to the gym more often. He bought new clothes and a new cologne. I thought he was just taking better care of himself. Then I noticed he was more protective of his phone. He always kept it face down and took it everywhere, even to the bathroom. A quiet worry began to grow inside me. I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was being silly and paranoid. I didn't want to believe my fears. One Friday night, David was taking a shower. His phone vibrated on the nightstand. A message from Ashley popped up on the screen. The preview read, "I already miss you. Can't wait for Monday." My heart stopped. That wasn't a professional message. I felt a chill in my stomach. I didn't touch the phone. When David came out, I asked him about the message. He got really angry. He said I was spying on him. He claimed Ashley was just a friend, and that I was crazy. His anger scared me. I decided I needed to know the truth. The following week, I went to David's office one evening. I told him I was going to my book club. I parked where I could see his office window. I saw the light on and 2 shadows inside. After about an hour, the door opened. David and Ashley came out together. They didn't just walk to their cars. They kissed right there in the streetlight. It was a long, intimate kiss. I started crying right there in my car. My worst fear had come true. I drove home in shock. I didn't know what to do. I waited for David to come back. He came in much later, smiling. He said he had to finish some paperwork. I looked at him and started crying. I told him I'd seen him with Ashley. His smile vanished. This time he didn't deny it. He sat down and covered his face with his hands. He admitted they'd had an affair for almost a year. He said it started during a stressful time at work. He said he was sorry. His words felt empty and hollow. I asked him to leave our house that night. He packed a suitcase and went to a hotel. The children were confused and scared. I told them Dad had to go away for work for a few days. The first night alone was terrible. The house was so quiet. I cried until I had no tears left. I felt a pain I'd never known. The man I loved and trusted for over a decade had betrayed me with someone I saw every day. I felt stupid for not seeing the signs sooner. I felt ugly and worthless. The next few weeks were a nightmare. David called and texted constantly. He said he was done with the affair, that he was going to fire Ashley. He promised to go to therapy, begged for another chance. I was so hurt and angry. Part of me wanted to believe him for our children's sake. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw them kissing. I couldn't imagine trusting him again. I couldn't imagine him touching me. The foundation of our life was completely shattered. I knew our marriage was over. I filed for divorce. It was the hardest decision I've ever made. David was shocked. I thought I would forgive him. The divorce process was long and painful. We had to divide our property and decide on child custody. David moved into an apartment. I stayed in our family home with the children. Telling them the truth was heartbreaking. They cried, and I cried with them. I promised them we would still be a family, just in a different way. I promised them they were loved. I focused on my children and myself. I started seeing a therapist to help me heal. She told me my feelings were normal. She helped me see that David's decisions weren't my fault. I started taking better care of myself. I went for walks with a friend every morning. I started a new hobby, making jewelry. I found a new full-time job. Little by little, I began to feel stronger. The pain was still there, but it wasn't as sharp. I was building a new life for myself and my children, based on honesty. David is now openly dating Ashley. It hurts to see them together in our small town. but it also confirms that I made the right decision. My children are adjusting to our new routine. They spend weekends with their father. I use that time to relax and see my friends. My house is now peaceful, filled with laughter and love, not lies and stress. I've learned to be happy on my own. I've learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought. I don't need a man to feel complete. I'm even dating again, very slowly. I met a kind man named Chris at my new job. He's gentle and respectful. For now, we're just friends. He knows my past and is patient. With him, I'm learning to trust again. I'm learning that not all men are like David. My children love him, and that's very important to me. I'm not ready for a serious relationship yet, but it feels good to have a friend. It feels good to laugh again and feel hopeful for the future. My life is good now. I have a job I enjoy and wonderful children. I have a small group of true friends who supported me through the worst times. The experience with David changed me forever. It made me more cautious, but also wiser. I now recognize the signs of infidelity. I value honesty above all else. I will never again ignore that little voice inside me that says something is wrong. I am a survivor. I faced a terrible betrayal and came out stronger. I don't hold any hatred toward David. I forgive him for my own peace. I hope he finds what he's looking for. Our story didn't have a happy ending, but my story isn't over. I am now the author of my own life. I am writing a new chapter, filled with self-respect, joy, and true love. I am teaching my children that it is better to be alone than with someone who doesn't respect you. I am proud of the woman I have become.